Welcome to Thru the Ringer. I'm your host, Tate Frazier. We're in studio in Los Angeles, and joining us, as always, it's the great Cousin Sal.
Come on, man.
Yeah. How's everything going?
Yeah, it's great to see you, man.
Oh, it's great to be back in studio. It's great to be talking about all the many happenings in the sports world. We got a lot of rigging allegations that are happening.
Yes.
How do you feel about this? The NBA rigged. Are you shocked?
No. It's always been rigged. The owners are cool with it, and they just let Adam Silver make billions of dollars.
Of course, everybody's making billions of dollars. It's a good time. It's a good game. And speaking of good games, can we play my favorite game?
Let's play your favorite game.
Yeah.
Because what will we do? We have this outline. We have meetings and everything. If I'm going to say no, let's do something else.
We'd be in trouble.
Out.
Yeah, it'd be really upsetting.
Yeah,
let's play my favorite game. Some over-under reactions. I give you a statement. You tell me if it's an over-under reaction. Let's start with the Pope, Sal.
Oh, yeah.
Locating the Pope at a Chicago White Sox game back during the World Series is by far the best thing the internet has uncovered all year. Over or under reaction?
It's pretty great.
Pretty good,
I'm going to say under reaction. The fact that they got the clip of him in the crowd there in the World Series against the Astros.
Can't believe he was actually there, and he's actually a normal guy.
And people just found this. They went out of their way and found it. Although there was one thing where someone on Instagram said if you use dental floss to cut soft cheeses like brie, it makes more sense and less messy than using a knife, and it gives the cheese like a minty flavor. That and Finding the Pope, I think, are 1A and 1B. Yeah, but no, it's good. We have a new Pope. He knows suffering because he's a White Sox fan, and look at what he's cleared Pete Rose's name.
Yeah, it was great for the brand, right? Chicago Cubs fans celebrated early. They thought he was a Cubs fan. Then they found out that his family was actually from the south side of Chicago. He was a White Sox fan. His dad grew up a Cardinals fan, so he defied his own father. He's a guy who stands on his own 2 feet.
Makes sense, Cardinal. Yeah.
He's an American. It's all good stuff. So shout out to the Pope. Next up, let's talk about a team that needed to talk to the Pope before the NBA draft lottery. The Dallas Mavericks winning the draft lottery is the most rigged thing we've ever seen in sports history. Over, under reaction.
I'm going to say all different reaction. I'm going to say under. I'm going to say over, but I'm going to say over to start, but I do love how all these NBA holes are spinning.
They're upset.
They are losing their minds. There's no way. It's easier to call a card from a deck and be able to get it exactly than it would be Dallas's odds of getting the number 1 pick overall. But listen,
1.8%.
I'm torn because I love it. I love the outrage. On the other hand, no way Nico Harrison should be rewarded for making the most boneheaded deal in history.
Yeah.
Right? And on the other hand, I hate tanking, and I don't think tanking should be rewarded. So teams that are losing on purpose in October, maybe he's not so adorable anymore. I don't think since it's been changed, the lottery.
2019, right?
Yeah, the worst team has never drafted number 1.
Yes, never.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the system is flawed. Dare we say rigged, but at least flawed. And the Dallas Mavericks, like you said, the cool thing that they could have done is get rid of Nico as soon as they got the number 1 pick. I think that would have been the ultimate way to get everybody back on board. But what do we know? We do know
that might still happen, by the way.
Knock on wood. Right now, you could be watching. Who knows? Yeah. Michael Jordan, Sal, will be joining the NBA on NBC team, and doing that is even better than them bringing back Round Ball Rock. Over under reaction.
That's under reaction. I love Round Ball Rock. But we all have Spotify. We can play it all day long.
Right.
If we want
it's been at Fox for like 10 years, by the way. Yeah, it used to play into my show. I mean, I've heard it a lot.
Yeah, that's. I think that's why they decided against it.
100%.
Tate Frazier has a show. So,
took it down.
Listen, I want to hear MJ, even if he says nothing and sits there with a lit cigar.
He will say nothing.
Staring at an iPad, looking at highlights. It's still better than 90% of what's out there. I welcome it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Barkley versus Jordan. You got Barkley now on ESPN. Jordan responding on NBA or on NBC, talking about the NBA. It's going to be great. So shout out to Michael Jordan. Shout out to Bill Simmons, Sal. Bill Simmons, Jason Tatum Postmortem was his saddest podcast. Get ready for it. Since Saving Private Ryan. Sal, over or under reaction. If you get it, you get it.
You know what? Please, guys, we appreciate it if you got that reference. But I'm going to say overreaction. I think he keeps it cool.
Me too.
He knows how to do it. He knows how to, he's got the barriers up. And he's like, we got to see what happens with Tatum here. The news is probably bad, but let's talk about this draft lottery. Let's talk about this. Like, whoa. Let's talk about the Celtics and how you jinxed this team with that 19-part documentary. Like, this is your fault. But no, you never want to see Jason Tatum hurt. I actually thought he was hurt from the beginning. You did not. if you want to discuss that now. Otherwise, we can move on. I don't know.
No, we don't have to get into the weeds of that.
Nobody from Duke ever did anything on the up and up.
No, they do all the time. All the time. They do it all the time. Adam Silver, he's rigging the league. What a genius. A lot of things happening there. Next up, Sal, Giannis should be allowed to bring his brother Thanasis with him to whichever team he ends up with. Over or under reaction, maybe Dallas.
It's like a biblical thing we're talking about here. Maybe Dallas. I'm going to say underreaction, Tate.
Okay.
Nepotism. Big fan of nepotism.
Me too. Why not?
You and I probably wouldn't be staring at each other if it weren't for the nepotism that I benefited from. But listen, I've been the beneficiary. We have LeBron and Bronny, right? They had to be a package deal wherever it was. The Lakers got him. So why not Giannis and Theonis and Giannis and everybody else together on the same team?
Yeah, and Thanasis has a podcast that Giannis goes on the podcast. Famously, the Mavericks 3 years ago signed Kostas Antetokounmpo, who was Giannis' younger brother, trying to recruit Giannis. So they've done it before. They'll do it again. Next up, Sal, near and dear to your heart, Cowboys at Eagles is the most satisfying way to kick off the NFL season. Over or under reaction?
I'm going to say overreaction as a Cowboy fan. Yeah, these standalone games hurt me. Like, unless it's against the Giants, who haven't been competitive in years, I don't love it. Again, on the other hand, if we do pull off the win, that would be pretty great. I could gloat for 4 days instead of just if it's like a Sunday night affair, just one. But, you know, I don't know, Tate. I'm not sure. Like, I'm going to guess the line at 6.5. Between these two? No, what is it? What do you know? Do you know what
I don't know anything.
Don't tell me. You're not allowed to tell me.
I can't tell you. I don't want to
contract.
I don't want to spoil it.
I can't guess the line in the middle of May.
I think I would take the Cowboys money line.
Really?
Yeah, to open the season. This is a game where like the Eagles have a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. You get the Dallas Cowboys for 1 week. Everyone's like, is this the year? Javonte Williams was a great under-the-radar signing. Dak looked really good. CD looked great.
You're getting me so excited.
Come on. I think it's the time. I think they win that game.
It used to be a time where the home team would just crush on this. And then I think Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs went into Foxborough and beat New England. And then it's been a mixed bag ever since.
And I think the mixed bag might play in the fortune of old Jerry Jones. But we'll see what happens, Sal. Next up, the Utah Mammoth should have gone with something else. Over or under reaction?
So I'm going to say under reaction. My friend Harry, you know him well, and my son Jack, who happens to be Harry's best man at his wedding. Harry
and best friend.
Harry 53, Jack 16. Don't ask. I don't know what it is. But they both wanted Utah to call their team the Yetis. And it's not often when great minds like that get together. So I think the Yetis would have been a better... The Yeti, it still wouldn't end in an S. I don't know. Just like you have now another team that doesn't end in S. I don't know. They could have gone with something else.
Something way better than Mammoth.
Yeah, Mammoth's so good.
Yeah, Mammoth is confusing. Also, if you're a skier, you hear Mammoth, you don't think of the hockey team, you might think of the mountains. So I think there's just a lot of things going on there.
They should have called them the Utah, the NBA f***ed us in the draft lotteries. I know it's a different sport.
Yeah.
But people, is it too late to change that?
They have never gotten the #1 pick, the Utah Jazz.
Or the Mammoth.
Yeah, goodness gracious. What's going on in Utah? Last one, Sal. The Colorado Rockies don't deserve a manager this year. Over or under reaction? Wow.
I'm going to say under reaction. They fired Bud Black. Good for him. He could go on with his life. I mean, this is a disgusting team. They're on pace for 33 wins, I think, something like that. And just thank you, Rockies. The bettors thank you, and the National League West thanks you for sending 3 teams to the playoffs, which is how it looks.
Absolutely.
Gross team.
Yeah, gross team, and obviously getting some shots here, but still got to play my fun game, and they still made it into the game.
That's
so
right.
Shout out to the
You
Rockies.
made it to the game.
Yeah, the Mammoth and the Rockies, they make it to the game. Let's call up the Riverboat captain. Let's do some prop culture. We got a fun one this week, Sal. In honor of Short King Week, ending in 5.5 to 5'9", who is the best athlete of all time under 5'9"?
Wow. All right, so you don't have to worry about this.
We got the odds here. I got to give you the odds first.
Oh, yeah, you're a normal size man. Go ahead.
Here are the odds. Lionel Messi is the favorite at plus 250. We got Bruce Lee, the legend, 5'8". He's at 5-1 odds. We got Megan Rapinoe. She's 5'6" at 10-1 odds. We got Air Bud. Oh man, 2 foot tall, of course, 750 to 1. We got the field at even odds. What say you?
I think Bud's 2 feet with lifts. I don't even think he's that tall. Boy, I want to put myself in there.
He's got the Tom Cruise shoes on.
Yeah, he's got the Cruise. What he didn't do is he didn't beat Santino Morello at Staples Center. What was it, in June 2008? Like I did, in front of 19,000 people.
Right.
So I did that. I could put myself there, but I'm not going to.
That's what I wanted to do.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I did want to.
There's still time.
There's still time. I haven't put mine in yet.
Danica Patrick.
Oh, my
Remember
goodness.
Danica, little
Yeah.
tiny minion of Danica Patrick? She reached speeds of 83 miles an hour, I think,
Yeah.
at one point. Good for Danica. What else did she do? She weightlifting, CrossFit, Sports Illustrated cover
You
model.
missed the number one thing.
What else?
GoDaddy.com.
GoDaddy.com, yeah. What a
she did
sport that is.
that.
Is she on Dancing with the Stars?
I think so.
She should be.
I'm sure she
And
was.
she dated Aaron Rodgers, which requires a lot of
Patience.
patience
Yeah.
and just fortuitiveness to just escape his bullshit all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot of driving, a lot of dodging,
Yeah.
and shout out to her. That was on the board right there, or off the board, I should say. Field, even odds,
Yes.
Danica Patrick. I like that call. Bruce Lee is tantalizing, sitting there at 5-1, but I'm going to go with Messi. It's easy. Plus 250. I like I'm still getting plus money. I think it's
Okay.
an easy answer. He's in the U.S. now, too. He's in Miami. So
Right.
Miami, Messi, we're taking you plus 250.
Bicycle
Shout out to the
kicks.
Short Kings.
Yeah, there we go. Short
Yeah,
Kings, baby.
little clap. Now I turn it over to you. You're going to set some lines.
All right,
for
let's
us.
set some lines. And
Yeah,
again, you
please.
cannot find these on FanDuel anywhere. So we
Thankfully.
don't need the letters. We don't need the calls. FanDuel gets mad. This is just for me, Tate, to have fun here.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Bill Belichick never coaches a
God.
game at UNC. Tate, plus 650. You can get almost 7-1. Oof. Fake odds, of course.
Yes.
What do you think?
A lot of reports out there
Yes.
about that this may not happen. I can confirm that he will coach game
Really?
1. He will coach. So that is a exclusive scoop.
Wow.
It will happen. It is locked in. He will be coaching the entire season, Sal. And dare I say, the next season as well. So I think
2 seasons.
I'm locked in, Bill Belichick, at least 2 seasons.
It's interesting because I think the people will say, he's not going to make it till August. I think that's a little crazy. You have some nice transfers that came over.
Top 10 portal
because of him.
class. Yeah.
Top 10?
Come on.
Yeah, so the boosters may not like what's going on, but he has a fun team established here. It's just a tough 90 days, Tate, between the beauty contest.
90-day
and
fiance.
Selfie parties.
That's what it is.
There's a lot that's going to happen in the next 3 months. So, but yeah, I agree with you.
I think you should get
650
married in the middle of the field in the fall at homecoming. My 10-year graduation reunion this year.
Really?
Graduated 2015. We all go back for the football game. Bill Belichick gets married on the 50-yard line. It'd be great.
I would do that.
Yeah, we all go back.
That's terrific.
Bill comes as well. Everybody's
All
there.
right.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Here's another one that's directed to you personally. Tate Frazier will purchase over under 2.5
Oh, no.
LeBron James Ken dolls for various gifts this Christmas.
I'm going to say potentially over.
Really?
Mattel, right by us in
Yeah.
El Segundo. You can see the building. This is where they showed in the Barbie movie where the headquarters are. So LeBron got Mattel to make the Ken dolls
Mm-hmm.
for him. I do think they're making an animated series. So who knows? Maybe my nieces want some LeBron James dolls. And maybe I get
Interesting.
them one.
Okay, now you know the new rule that you're not allowed to have more than 2 dolls on Christmas. No 11-year-old girl is allowed to.
Right.
Can't have 250 pencils. Has to be 5, I think.
Okay.
But 2 dolls. So you may be actually breaking a law.
Actually, I'm going to take the under because I'm
Okay,
only
good.
going to get 2 dolls.
All right,
I'm
only
not going
2
to
dolls.
get 3 dolls. I'm going to get 2 dolls. Yeah.
Here's another one.
Ooh.
Thru the Ringer.
Wow.
That's this right
yes,
here.
Yes. Right
Will
there.
win a Golden Globe in the new category of Best Podcast. I know we're a TV show.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because there's cameras and everything, there's lights, but it's also a podcast.
It's both.
50-1 odds
Yeah.
that you get the inaugural nod.
I think we should have made that $5 million.
Oh, what? Why?
Because then we could all cash in. You know what I mean? We could all
right.
put the money on it. Yeah, I think there is a bit of confusion. We are a TV show, but also simulcast.
Yes,
So
right.
I don't know. Maybe we start a new category, best simulcast.
Oh, yeah,
And then we
yeah,
get
yeah.
in for that, and then we win. you
Well,
know?
I think, yes. I think this has a shot. I think 50-1 is. I think it should be much lower than that. Where else are you going to have a podcast?
Where else
that
are you gonna
talks
play this
about
game?
LeBron dolls and Harry and Jack and the Utah Mammoth. And
Right.
We do a lot. We
Come
cover
on.
a lot. Which Ringer pod wins in your estimation?
It's a good question. I want to keep my job. Bill Simmons podcast.
Really?
The best one.
Okay.
Obama listens to it.
Yes,
You're
yes,
on
I
it.
heard that,
Parents
yeah.
Corner.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, add that S in
Parent
there.
Corner.
No, it's Parents
It's
Corner.
parents?
According to Obama, that's what he said. It's Parents
Yeah,
Corner.
okay.
But yeah, I think that's the answer.
What
Parent
about
Corner,
the-
guess the lines.
I like that. All right, that's fine.
You hear
I'd be
that?
happy with that. They don't hear it because they're all doing Amy Poehler show.
Oh, no.
That is an empty studio. You're
That's a
looking
good
at right
podcast,
now.
too.
Yeah. What about the one that goes over all the Miley Cyrus shows?
Oh,
The
that's a good
songs?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's do that one. Let's do that one. All right.
Shout out Nathan Hubbard. You're doing God's work.
doing
Somebody's
good.
work. I don't know.
Nora as well. They're working hard. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got some line look aheads and some track of the futures with Cousin Sal. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Thru the Ringer. I'm still your host, Tate Frazier, and we're still in studio with Cousin Sal.
Still the host. They didn't replace you.
No.
They had 2.5 minutes to replace you.
Well, I made the right pick right before the break.
What was it?
You know, top podcast, BS podcast.
Oh, right.
You know,
Yeah.
right
You said the right thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
good
if they didn't
pick.
replace you, then it wasn't going to happen.
I know.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. Let's do some fun stuff. A line look ahead here. We got NBA playoffs. Sal, you're locked in. You love the playoffs.
Love it.
You've never been more locked in. We got Knicks at Celtics. Obviously 3-1 right now with New York winning. Tatum going down. Got the ruptured Achilles. Celtics minus 4.5 in this game regardless. What do you like in this one, Sal?
Well, first of all, let's look at this line, right? So I think this would have been 9.5 if Tatum were playing.
Right.
So he's worth about 5 to this line, which means if it gets back to New York, this is maybe going to be a pick 'em. Maybe the Knicks are a 1-point favorite. This is interesting. I know people are writing Boston off. Not so fast. It's hard to believe you can get 5-1 odds on Boston almost to win this series. I know their star is out, but regardless, with this bet, I'm going Celtics to win the first half and to win the game. Now, this kicked all the way up. This was minus 130 something. It's now minus 188. I still like it because they had a first half lead, a monster first half lead.
They have a lead the entire series, yes.
It's ridiculous, yeah. And it wasn't because of Tatum, by the way, that first half lead. So if they stick around, you might as well just take them rather than minus the 4.5 points. I just think they come out bombing. Psychologically, if they're losing at halftime, they're going to lose anyway. So you might as well take them first half and game. I think that's how it's going to end up.
We did see the Bucks have a situation where Dame went down. They had the next game. Right. They obviously came out in passion. They played really hard. They did not win that game, but I do think the Celtics are going to have a very similar makeup emotionally. So I do think they're going to come out fine.
You know, Cat fouls out early. Don't be surprised to see it, right?
And Cat wants to foul out.
In the first half.
He really wants
He's
to
exhausted very early on.
He wants to get out of the game. I like it as well. Celtics minus 4.5 in this one. You can get that at minus 112. I just think that they're going to win this game because of the emotional, situation that's involved. If they go back to New York in Game 6, that puts the pressure back on New York. Right. So this will be fun, a great road team, and we'll see what happens. There's also player props in this game that you like, Sal. What do you like on the board?
Jaylen Brown. So for them to win, he's going to have to do it.
Right.
He's going to have to put it together. He gave us a nice relief from those cannonball threes that are being chucked up. He actually gets to the hoop. He creates shots. It's nice to see. I know I'm an old man, but this is good to watch. I'm going to go under 4.5 assists, though. I think this is a type of game where he's going to be a little more selfish. He's gone under this number in 11 of his last 14 against top 10 defenses, which the Knicks are. He averages about 2.5 assists in that scenario. He's the man. Little less dishing, more dunking. Give me Jaylen Brown under 4.5 assists.
I like that call. I think he's going to be taking a lot of shots. I also think he's out there to prove a point that without Tatum last year, he was the most valuable player. Yeah. He was the Finals MVP. So I think this is maybe a message for Jaylen Brown to send to the people to say, hey, even without Tatum, I can still be that guy. I think he's going to make threes. I think they're going to bombard from the outside.
I just said he's the only one who does, takes it to the hoop.
No, he's going to shoot threes in this game as well. He's going to do both.
All right.
A little bit of both. 3+ made threes. You can get that at plus 158. So I think Jaylen Brown and the Celtics, we both believe in them in this game. And that is not a jinx, by the way. We believe in the Celtics. We're not trying to be bashful
I'm not a jinx.
here. Yeah.
I didn't direct a 9-part documentary.
We're not doing that.
That's a jinx.
That's not us. We're not doing that. Let's look at the Warriors and the Wolves. This is also a series that had some injury implications. Obviously, line look ahead. Wolves minus 11.5 in this one. The total is 204. What do you like here, Sam?
I'm going to go under Warriors total, which is 96.5 points. I think they're shot. I know there's murmurs about Steph if they could just get it to Game 6, maybe Steph plays.
That was the hope, but it's gone.
They take long stretches off defensively, and the T-Wolves have been able to take advantage. They had 99 points and 93 on the road, Games 1 and 2, and that 99 came when they hit 18 threes. I just don't think it's in the cards for the Warriors. Not going to get the calls. We're not going to see them go to the line 33 times like they did in the last game. They emptied the bench, by the way, in Game 4 and scored 33 in the fourth when Minnesota didn't care. It's going to be a tough time making shots at the Target Center. 108-90, I feel like, is the proper score here.
Yeah, I do feel like Anthony Edwards took their heart, and he stomped on it in the
Oh,
bay.
my God.
Yeah,
wow.
That was real. That's what's happening.
Jeez.
He also told them and let them know, and without Steph Curry, it feels bad, like watching this Warriors team without any sort of resistance. So that was strange. So I like the Wolves as well in this game, minus 11.5, minus 108. Anthony Edwards said, you won't get it back to a Game 6, because there was that
I'm starting to believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to believe him too. Yeah, he's right. Let's do some player props. What do you like in this game?
Julius Randle, double-double, plus 250. He's playing really well. It's weird how his departure from the Knicks worked out for both teams, right? Worked out for the Knicks and the T-Wolves. He's playing at a level we didn't see with the Knicks. Double-double in Game 2, triple-double in Game 3. I like that he could do it both ways. He'll get 10 points fairly easily, right? He averages 18, and then he could get 10 or more assists, 10 or more rebounds, which he's done before. He averages 19. He could be a facilitator or crash the boards. Get almost 2.5 to 1 odds here, so that's what I'm going.
I like the call, plus 250. Also, Julius Randle led the team in scoring in Game 4. As much as I talked about Anthony Edwards, he did have 31 points. Anthony Edwards had 30 points. I think he's going to do it again, Sal. I'm going to take Anthony Edwards, 30-plus points in this game, plus 132. I think he wants to send the message that he sent Draymond Green home. He said after last year he heard a lot of Draymond chirping and that he was very excited to send him home, and I think he is living up to his billing right now. And also there's a World Sal where we get Knicks Wolves in the finals to figure out who won the trade. That'd be great.
That'd be a lot of fun.
A lot of people that prognosticate, they would love that. Who actually won the trade? We can find out in the finals.
And then I hope they go 1 and 2 in draft order next year. That would be great.
That's the NBA. That's why we love it. Let's do a line look ahead in the NHL. What do you like, Sal? There's a game that you are circling, and you like the over.
Couple good games. Yes, I'm circling, Tate. Florida at Toronto is a good one, but I'm going Vegas. Edmonton, Vegas, a slight favorite, 122. 6.5 is the over-under. All these others are like 5.5. Lots of firepower in this Vegas-Edmonton series. Now, we saw 3-0 Edmonton won. Stuart Skinner allowed 15 goals in 3 games. Then comes back and stops all 23 shots. Goaltending is weird in the playoffs. Everyone's like, oh, he's good now. He's good to go. No, I think he has a bad game. Vegas at home, been pretty good. 4 of the last 5 home games, Vegas has scored 4 or more. So we're going to go over 6.5 combined. Empty net possibilities all over the place. 5-3 final. The Knights extend the series.
I love it. A lot of goals in the playoffs and a lot of high-scoring games, so we love that. Let's go to the PGA Championship, Quail Hollow, Charlotte. A lot of rain early in the week, but it will be nice over the weekend, Sal. Who do you like, line look at here this week? Do you have a guy that you like to win it all, or is there some fun props that you see on the board?
Yeah, everything. I mean, I bet everything.
Yes,
fun props and guy to win it all. I'll give you a fun prop, though. Justin Thomas, top 10, plus 210. He won this at Quail Hollow in 2017. He's playing well, not great at the Masters. I think he finished top 40, like 36th at the Masters, but second last week at the Truist. He won the RBC Heritage a couple weeks ago. He's playing very well. He navigates this course, a top 5-6 guy for this course. To get 2 to 1 top 10 gives me a nice feeling, even though Thomas is apparently rude to my agent, James Baby Doll Dixon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a little standoffish, baby, when I see him at the Bears Club. He can go himself, so I don't know.
He doesn't like hearing about Wake Forest.
No, he doesn't want to hear about Baby's affiliation with Wake Forest.
Gosh.
Have you played this course?
No, I have not played. Or actually, sorry, I thought you were talking about his club.
No,
I think about Baby's
about
club.
Baby. No,
Quail Hollow. I played once in college. Shout out to my homie that set it up.
What'd you get? What'd you finish?
I shot out 79.
79.
Yeah.
So what was that? 7 over?
7 over. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, man. Because a lot of these guys are like 3 under, 4 under.
Yeah. Rory McIlroy, he wakes up and he's 4 under on this course, and that's why I like Rory McIlroy to be top 10 after the first round, plus 160. It's really the fact that this guy can cut corners. It's the fact that he can birdie every par 5. It's also the fact that on the par 4s, he really doesn't hurt himself, Sal. He's able to salvage a par just with the length of his driver. I mean, he's unbelievable with how he's able to hit the ball. Still not his number one thing, but Quail Hollow is a course he loves. I do feel like him winning is maybe a bit of a stretch because it's a little too on the nose, but this is the perfect way for Rory to start the season 2 for 2 in the majors and actually make a run at a season Grand Slam, which is something we've never seen.
Wow.
So
he and Scheffler at the top, plus 450 as far as odds go, but
Plus 160 after the first round. I don't personally think he's going to do it, but after the first round,
that's a good bet.
I think he's in the mix.
To stick in there.
Yeah. I think he shoots 4 under at worst in the first day.
Okay, anything's better than 7 over. My God, I've never heard anything like that in my life.
What a screw. I wasn't locked in then. Now I'm locked in, so maybe I could shoot 7 over, or or maybe 6 over. We'll see what happens. Where can we find all your work? And then I know you're going to be talking about the PGA Championship as well. But where can we find all your stuff?
All my work, I do it sometimes from my office. Then we go over to Penn Street.
How much work can one man do?
A lot of work, yeah. Against All Odds and the Ringer Podcast Network a couple times a week. Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend at the end of the week. We'll have some good stuff for you right here on FanDuel
Great guest
TV.
as always. Always on FanDuel TV. Also might be nominated for Golden Globes. We'll see what categories we can get in. Sal, you're the best. We appreciate you coming on the show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back here on Thru the Ringer. We got the Ringer's very own Bryan Curtis joining the show. We will see you right after the break.
Solid dude, Bryan Curtis.
Good guy. We'll see you right after the break. Welcome back to Thru the Ringer. We're in studio, and joining us now, as promised, we have the Press Box's very own Bryan Curtis. Bryan, good to see you.
How are you, Tate?
Long time. How's everything going? We're in the off season right now, but there's still a lot of on seasons. We got playoff basketball, we got MLB, a lot happening, NHL as well. What's going on in your world?
All that and some political stuff. I hear there's books coming out about former presidents, current presidents are doing things. It's an interesting time. Yeah.
Speaking of books coming out, there's a book coming out called The Art of Winning. As you know, anytime there is a book that starts with the art, it's going to be a good one. And the part that everyone is talking about, of course, Bill Belichick and his relationship. This is something that's fascinating because you are, in the media waters. You know how these stories go. How fascinating is this story to watch get reported in real time?
These are deep waters, Tate.
Yes, feels like we're in the ocean, right?
I mean, I feel like Pablo Torre is both the Woodward and Bernstein of this story at the same time.
Yes.
I mean, there are statements going back and forth. UNC, your alma mater's making stuff. Now there's this idea put forth that maybe Bill Belichick won't coach one game at UNC this fall. I mean, does that strike you as pretty strange?
I would say that's patently false. And, I do know some of the characters involved. I do think that, and I don't even think, I believe, I know, I am certain that Bill Belichick will coach at North Carolina. But the circus behind the scenes, some inside would say it's not a circus, but the outside says it is a circus, and it's become a storyline that continues to feed itself. I mean, People Magazine, TMZ, Pablo Torre obviously reporting on his podcast as well, but every single day I see a new graphic with a new story about Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson. Why is there such a fascination?
Well, I think the fascination is, here's a celebrity with a young partner. That's where it starts.
A no-nonsense celebrity.
A no-nonsense celebrity, yes. And that has been one of the fascinating parts is Bill Belichick, for years, for basically his entire career, was trying to be a public figure, but not a public figure.
Right.
Like, I will coach the football games. I'm not really going to tell you anything about how I coach the football games. I'm certainly not going to talk about my life. Then he has this weird gap year between the Patriots and UNC, and he becomes a media figure. Right. So all of a sudden he's being interviewed. Jordan Hudson is in his life. He's on Instagram, and all of a sudden we see this different kind of Bill Belichick, and he is submitting to things. I'm just talking about the on television above board kind of things. He is submitting to things here. He's being interviewed. He's going on podcasts. He's talking to Pat McAfee. He's doing all kinds of things he never would have done in the past.
Very public, right?
And it just feels like this whole pirate's chest got unlocked. And now we have this strange thing where he wants to go back to coaching football, but there's all this private stuff out in the universe. So where do we go from here?
Yeah, it's a fascination, right? Because it's very similar to not one-to-one, but like when Tiger Woods, when that thing happened, the shock and awe of like who it was led to the drama of the story and the fact that the story kept trickling out and the fact that people kept asking about it. And I do feel like there is some of that here where it's just so shocking, the person involved, that it's become such a big thing. But like you said, we got statements coming out. The university has responded. It sounds like it's been nipped in the bud from their aspect. But again, the story continues. Will football save Bill Belichick, I guess, is the larger question.
I think probably so. And, I was
thinking... Top 10 portal class.
Top 10 portal class.
People are talking about that.
TCU week 1. Here we go.
Yeah, Ireland next season.
It's on to Fort Worth, well, even though the game's happening at UNC. But I think there's an interesting aspect to this, too, is like, look, you're UNC. You hire Bill Belichick. You did not think Bill Belichick was going to be the guy who was like, please, Mr. AD, tell me what to do so that I can do it. Not that he wouldn't be uncooperative, but this was a guy who wasn't listening to the owner of the Patriots, who didn't want to share credit.
Now you have a board of trustees, you got boosters.
All these things, and even if the Jordan Hudson thing was what everybody says it is, let's just say everything we've read is 1,000% accurate. I still think if I'm UNC, I'm signing up for that.
Of course.
Like, I'm just like, what's the worst that could happen here? You know, and like, look, college football coach, would I want to hire a young coach who has a couple of great years at Chapel Hill and then says, hey, I've got an offer, I'm leaving.
I'm going to Texas.
I'm holding you up for more money. I mean, we've seen all kinds of behavior from college football coaches that we would say like, hey, that's not good. I mean, this to me, even if everything is real and true, I just don't think it really rates all that high.
No, I think on North Carolina's side, they're like, it's nice to be in the news as a Carolina football program. It's just unfortunate that this is the news. You know what I mean? But like you said, at least it keeps it away from like, the news could be he can't get any players. This is going to be a debacle. You know what I mean? Like that, none of the news is bad. It's just this weird TMZ story, really.
Yeah, it's not a rival story. It's a TMZ story.
Yeah, a little bit different.
And as a media chin stroker that I am, I have been thinking, a thinker, a deep thinker. Like, what is the point that this became news?
Because I'm still trying to figure that out.
Well, I think when there were emails that she was copied on at UNC, look, then she has a semi-official role. It's a state university.
Right.
It's a story, right? She's involved.
You should look at the requests online. You can make the public information request as a public school. The amount of requests that have been made on behalf of Jordan
FOIA Apex Mountain?
Yes, go look at it. It's unbelievable. I mean, you can go check them all out. That's my favorite thing to do in my free time. I just look at all the information requests.
Right. And whatever Belichick says at ACC Media Days, look, this is not some, she has some kind of role in shaping the image of the football program. So I think she's news. But that was another question. If she were just on Instagram, dressed as a mermaid with Bill Belichick fishing her out of the sea or doing that weird gymnastics, thing that they were doing on the beach, is that news? I mean, I think there's probably an argument to make that it is. Bill Belichick's a public figure. This stuff is put online. You don't have to put pictures of yourself online. Again, I might not be covering it. You might not be covering it. But I think in the larger sense, it probably is news to some extent.
And as Pablo did say on his show, he is viewing this as a story about a power dynamic. That's why he views it as news. And again, Bill Belichick, a very forward-facing figure that always had very mysterious kind of, a background, really. Like, people didn't even know that he had a daughter or a son or two sons. You know what I mean? Like, these are things.
Or a dog until the draft.
Right.
Bill Belichick has a home. Bill Belichick has a dining room. This is crazy.
People thought he lived in a cave, like he was Bigfoot or something. So it's very strange to see that. But again, headlines is what matters. And a guy who knows that very well, Shedeur Sanders, a man who
has he been in the news?
He's been in the news as well. If it's not Jordan and Bill, it's Shedeur Sanders. There is a battle in Cleveland to figure out who the quarterback is. There is a four-way battle. Obviously, a guy drafted before him in his conference once upon a time in Dylan Gabriel. So these two guys are going to be battling it out. You also have Joe Flacco in the mix. You have two hands, Kenny Pickett, small hands Kenny Pickett, and you also have Deshaun Watson in the background. So the Fabulous Five, as we're liking to call these guys in Cleveland. What does that room look like, and what does the Shedeur news cycle look like?
Oh, my God. So small hands Kenny Pickett, and then Dylan Gabriel, he's just small.
Yes.
As that reporter got caught on camera saying the other day. He's really short. It's like, did you watch college football last year? You knew this, right?
Also, I look at you and I say press box etiquette, right? I mean, that is something that you obviously know very well. You grew up in the time where all that stuff was being hammered home. I grew up in a time it was kind of the end of the hammering at home, but still, if you know, but like, that's not allowed, right? Mouthing to the rest of the media, he's shorter than me.
Well, it's allowed, just not in front of the camera. Just take that into the media workroom at the lunchroom.
Yeah, you're in the buffet line.
Make the snarky comments, you just don't say it on camera, Tate. Shedeur Sanders, I think we're going to get something pretty quickly in minicamp or over the summer, where it's going to be like, what are the chances that Shedeur Sanders is going to play meaningful football this year, probably fairly small, or meaningful football ever?
Right.
I mean, this could be very, very fast, and then he's kind of, cast into the free agency market if he didn't make the team, something like that. I mean, I still think, again, just being college football guy more so than draft guy, I'm like, he can play. He can play. If you just asked me Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, they're both great college quarterbacks, but I'm like, I said, Shedeur, right?
Yeah.
So I just feel we're going to get some kind of pulse from him. Maybe he has like a great quarter in preseason, everybody gets all excited, and we'll get some more A blocks on first take out of the whole deal.
I think Joe Flacco will be the starter. I think Shedeur Sanders will be the backup. And I think by week 7, week 8, he will be the starter. And I don't even think it's going to be necessarily a football decision. I think this is, when they made the decision to draft him, Cleveland basically said, we sign up for this. And the people want Shedeur Sanders, and he's got to be better and at least more positive than what they've had for the past 3 years, right? That story, that cloud of Deshaun Watson, Shedeur, I mean, he has none of those kind of skills. I mean, he's at least a fun, positive, nice change of pace, and he can still be a bridge guy. But I think Flacco to Shedeur, you can sell it.
I mean, forget even the Watson thing. What about that graphic that they put up on every NFL game? Here are the 23 people that have played quarterback for the Browns.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, it is absolutely atrocious. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not? You're not even going to win this year.
Of course. And Kenny Pickett's not going to sell any seats. Dylan Gabriel's not going to sell any seats. Like, people might buy into the Shedeur hype, and I promise you, every single media outlet, as they did pre-draft, they're going to pump him up. I mean, Keyshawn Johnson already said he is the QB PhD and that Shedeur will be the starter. So it's already
We might get
happening.
another presidential tweet about it, a true social post.
Right. He thanked Trump for that as well. So Shedeur Sanders, he's playing the game. Speaking of the game that we all know and love, the rigged lottery game. This is a very NBA draft conversation, but there is always the conversation. 40 years ago, 1985, Patrick Ewing goes number 1. He goes to New York City. Everybody's eyebrows collectively raised at that point. 40 years later, the Mavericks, after the Luka trade, they get Cooper Flagg presumably to their team. Do you buy into it? And is this a good thing? Is it nice that people think there is some, Wizard of Oz behind the scenes controlling NBA basketball?
Well, the first question for any conspiracy theory is, who is being appeased here?
Yes.
Who are we rewarding? And in this case, what are we rewarding? Satan for giving the Mavericks the number 1 pick?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
who is benefiting from this? Like, this
I
is
think that's a
terrible.
fair question.
This franchise is absolutely wrecked, and everybody hates them.
Mm-hmm.
So why would we give them the number 1 pick overall?
Yes.
So that I mean, if anything, it feels like
It seems like the conspiracy, if I'm putting 2 and 2 together, it seems like people think that the league went to Dallas, said, we need Luka in LA to replace LeBron because it's in a bigger market,
Okay.
and therefore you need to trade him for Anthony Davis. And when you make that trade, don't worry, wink, wink, we're gonna get you with 1-8% chance the number 1 pick. Now that to me seems absolutely insane and definitely not what happened. But I turn to you, Bryan Curtis, who knows how things work.
Yeah.
Is that insane?
it's like a triple bank shot of conspiracy. Yeah, I think that's a little insane. I really think this is more just like a horrible reverse karma.
Yes.
Like the karma for them should have been like
Rob
one-
Mahoney said there are no basketball gods. I think that's a very fair way to
I
look
really
at it.
think it is. It's a little lesson for us sports fans. Like, things don't happen. Good things don't happen to good people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes good things happen to other people.
Yeah,
You know,
just
like the
remember,
Mavs went
bad
offense.
things happen. Wizards, Jazz, Hornets. These are 3 teams, 14% chance. Again, since they changed to this equal opportunity system, nobody with the worst record has actually won the lottery and got the number 1 pick. That seems like a flawed system.
Well, yeah. Though when you mention those teams, did nice things need to happen to the Wizards? Does anybody
Joe
think that?
House.
The Hornets? I mean, really?
The Hornets actually...
Is that a hard luck story to anybody?
But you must remember, like a lot of people I saw talking about the Hornets, they're like, well, they've had, LJ, they've had all these great players.
That was a while back.
And that also isn't this team. This is the Bobcats.
Yes.
Lest we forget, like this team was created in 2004. It's the worst franchise ever. They've never won a playoff series. They won 7 games, the least in NBA history. Like this is a franchise that should be talked about more, but because nobody cares, they don't get talked about. And because they had the Hornets logo and branding, people are like, oh yeah, they were good in the 90s, I guess,
Grandmama was awesome.
But the Bobcats, if they were still the Bobcats, we would be talking about should we kick them out of the NBA?
Yeah, I think
You
so.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they still get hosed in this situation.
Yeah, can we go back to the Bud Selig contraction?
What's
We could
going
say
on?
We'd take a few franchises out. I don't hear about that anymore.
Oh, man. Well, it's tough. A lot's happening in the NBA. You stay right there, Bryan Curtis. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about what's happening outside of the 4 major sports and what you need to watch. We're going to do a little power rankings. We love power rankings. We'll be right back after the break with Bryan Curtis. Welcome back to Thru the Ringer. We're in studio. We're live in Los Angeles with Bryan Curtis of the Press Box, and we're going to talk crown jewel events of the other sports. Just want to give some love to the other sports because we got the Big Four. We talk about the Big Four a lot, but you and I, we have wide palettes. We take in a lot of sports. I mean, is there something that you feel like in your back pocket, you're like, that's just something I love to watch? Is there one out there, and then we can get into, your actual power rankings?
Man, I think I'm like you, Tate, where it's like, what is going on that weekend?
Yeah.
Especially this time of year. You get a little sports desperate because you don't have the regularity of football. I mean, we got the NBA postseason right now, so we're spoiled because there's just something on every night.
Right.
But you kind of start looking around a little bit. There's a little bit of a wandering eye for you. And for me, it's like I find it whenever WrestleMania is happening, I'm like, oh my God, WrestleMania is something I've loved since I was a kid. So we're watching it the other night, me and my kids, and man gets kicked in a sensitive place on television. I'm like, oh, bad, not good, not a good example. For
No
the
good, yeah.
12-year-old, 9-year-old. Let's not get into it. But it was an interesting evening.
It's always fun to pick up the other sports, and like you said, it is kind of a weekend by weekend basis. And if you're someone that's just a general fan that's just out there scrolling, surfing, whatever you want to call it, you always tune into these types of events. So now we're going to do our first ever edition, our must-watch power rankings with Bryan Curtis. So we got the events that are out there. Obviously, football gone, NBA, NHL, they're winding down right now. We got baseball all the time. You and I like baseball, so that's kind of like again,
but later
power
we'll
force
plug in.
Yeah, we'll tap in when we need to. All right, let's start here. So we got 7 on the list, right? Number 7 in the must-watch power rankings outside of the non-4. What do you have?
This is the bottom one for me.
Bottom one.
Yeah, Tour de France, Tate, is coming in at number 7 for me. Don't know much about the competitors. Have never quite understood it as a TV sport.
Right.
I'll do little flybys, and you see them just kind of going around a corner. And then, but what happens next? And how do I know? And also, not a clear leader like there is in leather sports. We have the yellow jacket. We have all that, right? But then what happens is, are we sure that that person who's winning right now is actually winning the Tour de France? Confusing.
Very confusing, and it does feel like every single time you get the clips, you're like, what day are we on? How many more days do we have left? Like, what leg is this? I will say, I think at number 7 is fair today, but let's say Live Strong, Lance Armstrong era before all the things. I mean, it might be 1 or 2. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, right, exactly. Like
that was like lead the news cover of SI stuff. Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of these we'll see if it's the right competitor, it can go up the rankings.
Right, you can climb very quickly as they do in the Tour de France. All right, number 6 on the list, much watch power rankings. What do you have here?
So this is Wimbledon for me, and again, this has a lot of upside. If we're like, hey, great final coming this weekend, I'm like, oh, okay, I perk up. But from like dawn to dusk, week after week, the fortnight, I'm not plugged all the way into Wimbledon.
Okay. It's not like the NCAA tournament where the first round is better for you. You're just like, get me to Alcaraz, Djokovic in the final.
And absolutely a plug-in. So it's more of like, like the totality of it, I'm not quite there.
Okay, I like that call. Wimbledon, I just love, it's kind of like the Masters. It's just like the event itself, the whole aesthetic to it. It just feels like some sort of upper air that you're in, like you're in Mile High Air or something like that. I don't know, Wimbledon.
It's Britishness, Tate. That's what we call it.
Yeah, I know, and I don't usually fall for their trap. I don't usually fall for their trap, but they get me with Wimbledon. Next up, all right, number 5 on the list. What do we have?
Indy 500. I grew up watching a lot of Indy racing, the kart circuit back when I was a kid. I went to a race. I didn't totally enjoy it as a television sport.
Okay.
I get just a little bit of unfamiliarity with the competitors here. I find car racing to be a big lift. We're punting on F1. Have you noticed this?
Yeah, it does feel like that.
America's
as
like,
a country,
we gave that a whirl.
We got really excited. Everybody was like, we are going to do F1. Vegas went all the way in. Miami went all the way in. And now it's just slowly fizzled.
It really has. And people are like, wait, you can start the race in first place, never give up the lead, and then the race ends? That really happens?
Right.
Like, oh, yeah, it does happen.
And it happens more than you think.
It's like, ooh, maybe we'll find another world sport.
Important NASCAR is sitting over here. Michael Jordan's got his team going. I mean, there's a lot of energy and motion with NASCAR, but nobody cares.
It's just, I don't hate it in theory, but to get me to sit down and watch a race, that's a tough one.
But you're right. The Indy 500 does have its own legs, and we will be watching number 5. All right, next up, this just happened, number 4 on your list.
The hot dog eating contest.
Okay.
Well, this is actually still a little bit in the future, too.
Oh, yeah, sorry about
Let's not get ahead of Joey Chestnut if he has been actually ruled eligible one more time.
He ate a hot dog today, but he's not in the contest. That's right.
Here's the thing about the hot dog eating contest. One, it's incredibly fast.
Okay.
We all live busy lives. I have children, right? This is 1. 2, kids love it.
10 minutes.
Kids eat like that normally.
Right.
They eat like Joey Chestnut all the time.
Right.
Number 3 is the kind of like sneaky cool thing is the lemonade chug. Have you seen this? It's at the beginning.
Yes. This is new. I think it's 2 or 3 years in now.
Yes, I can just feel the diabetic shock through the television screen.
And it's one guy that does it by himself, right? He's like the self-proclaimed champ already.
Yeah, it's actually kind of fun. So you have like multiple events. It's kind of nice. It's like all those like horse races before the Kentucky Derby.
It is funny, too, with the broadcast, the way the ESPN does it, right? It's like a 50-minute introduction to a 10-minute competition that starts at like 12:45. We get it from 12:45 to 12:55. Then we get a 5-minute kind of celebration, gather all of our bearings. It's great. Shout out to the hot dog eating contest. All right, number 3 on the list.
WrestleMania.
There you go.
Oh, my God. I'm a little out of wrestling fandom. You know, I had my big moments as a kid.
Right.
And then again in college, I think this is the usual arc. And now I'm in a little bit of a downward trough, so I'm constantly texting our pal David Shoemaker and be like, who are these people? Why are they mad at each other? But I can still lock in.
And poor Shoemaker, like, he has to get those texts all the time. And it's like different people at varying degrees of knowledge, and he has to kind of, you know, figure out where they are, get them up to speed.
Yes, everyone's
he's
a
real
lapsed
nice
fan
guy.
except Shoemaker. He cannot be a lapsed fan.
And the poor guy can't take a break. Shout out to Shoemaker. He's working hard. All right, we got top 2, number 2 on the list. What do you got?
So Kentucky Derby, it's a little higher for me this year.
We did just see that. There
Yes, we just saw that. We put the whole Triple Crown in here.
There you go.
Because there's a special horse, Tate, named journalism. I don't know if you know about journalism, but
Big J.
journalism is important.
It's very important.
Journalism is important to a functioning society, Tate. Let me tell you something.
They're trying to take the estate away.
Journalism finished second in the Kentucky Derby. This weekend is a Preakness, and I want America to give journalism another chance.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the way I feel. This is important to me.
It's very important.
Capital J, small j, this is how I feel.
We need it. And Rick Pitino, honestly, has a piece of that horse as well. So this is a double.
He's in on journalism?
He's in on journalism.
Is that why he lost? I didn't know that.
No, he's on the right side of history. Now he's a Knicks fan. He was at the Knicks game, and now he's celebrating. Meanwhile, he was at BU. He recruited Patrick Ewing to BU, and these are two guys who were entrenched in Massachusetts. So
there's a lot of connections there.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're hugging in New York. Think about if you're a Boston person.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on the whole Knicks courtside scene, which I just find very, very
and the connective
strange.
tissue between it all. I was like,
Yeah.
if you showed this to someone in the early 80s, like Patrick Ewing, Rick Pitino, Knicks hugging each other, they'd be like, what is going on, you know?
Oh, totally. And
Strange.
only the Knicks, which have not won a championship since the 70s.
Right.
Would Allen Houston be courtside royalty? Like, nothing against
Stephon
Allen.
Marbury.
I know, but nothing
Right.
against those guys, right? But like, rings, right? Like, you're here. It's like the gang's all here.
Right. And Dolan loves them.
Yeah, it's like we were the last good Knicks.
Right.
This is cool.
What a world we live in. And finally, number 1, must-watch power rankings. What do you have on the list?
Let me tell you something. I'm not a golfer.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'm a golf fan, so to speak, but I come back every year for the Masters.
Yes.
And I think it's the course. I think we know the holes. You know, the competitors, the mano-a-mano nature. They're just
The
something
Bobby
about
Jones of it all, the fact that like
Bobby
the greatest
Jones.
amateur would then design this golf, you know what I mean? It's
the
just
fact
like,
that you can fall asleep while watching it, which I've not managed as easily while watching any other sport. You're not going to fall asleep during the hot dog eating contest.
No.
But the Masters was like, yeah, I can cover 25 minutes out of it.
I got 8 hours. Yeah, what happened?
I heard an announcer yell, whoa, what's
Right.
going on?
Right.
And it feels great. There's something just beautiful about watching that.
It is. And Vern Lundquist, we missed Vern this year. We miss his voice. He was the one that really helped with that pageantry of the Masters. And yeah, it's great. And honestly, like the stories every year of like the past Masters that still come back and stay in your mind, whether it's like a putt from Ben Crenshaw or whatever it is, right? It all kind of stays in
And
your
did it
mind.
happen in that place?
Right.
I mean, that again, that sense of place is so big. It's like we don't get that for the Super Bowl.
Bryan Curtis, you make lots of hits here at The Ringer. Where can we find them? And then we'll let you go enjoy the rest of your day.
We got Press Box Monday and Thursday. We
Yes.
had Brian Windhorst on last week talking about
great.
the new architecture of NBA
The
reporting. It's really
storytelling of
fascinating
the
discussion.
it was great. Shout out to Windhorst. It was great to hear, and great stuff on the press box as always. Bryan Curtis, The Ringer's very own. Appreciate you coming on the show, and we'll be right back after the break. All right, there you have it for another edition of Thru the Ringer. Thanks to Cousin Sal, as always, for coming on the show. Thanks to the Press Box's very own Bryan Curtis as well. It's a fun show. We appreciate you tuning into the show, and we will see you next week.